The conspiracy against Judge Biedma to save Pedro Sanchez's brother. Let's get started. Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of Medidas Cautelares. And pay close attention because we have more information about the conspiracy from Pedro Sanchez's dirty tricks squad who wanted to conspire against none other than the judge from Badajoz, Biedma, while she was investigating his brother David Sanchez for crimes of malfeasance and influence peddling. We are going to reveal what the secret plan was, the hidden plan of the dirty tricks squad. The socialist plan to neutralize Judge Biedma involved nothing less than changing David Sanchez's lawyer, just as you're hearing. We're going to share this information as we always do, but first, if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the Medidas Cautelares channel as we're almost at 141,000 subscribers. And we already have on screen the information we're revealing, which is extremely serious, showing how it was being put together. Conspiring against Judge Biedma to save David Sanchez, the brother of the Prime Minister. And here you have a photograph of David Sanchez during the trial held at the Provincial Court of Badajoz. And pay attention to the information we reveal. The PSOE's Dirty Tricks network tried to impose lawyer Luis José Saenz de Tejada as the attorney for the brother of the Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez. As revealed by Libertad Digital and Medidas Cautelares in June of last year, Saenz de Tejada conspired against the head of the Court of Instruction No. 3 of Badajoz, Biedma, in the midst of the investigation into the David Sanchez case. Businessman Joaquín Parra testified last week as a witness for a little over an hour before the head of the Central Court of Instruction No. 5 of the National Court, Santiago Pedras, as part of the PSOE's Dirty Tricks scheme. Parra revealed the plans of this Dirty Tricks group to impose Sáenz de Tejada as David Sanchez's lawyer. Legal sources consulted state that Parra told the judge that the PSOE's fixer, Lere Diez, informed him that the socialist Dirty Tricks group's plan to neutralize Judge Biedma involved imposing Luis José Sáenz de Tejada as David Sanchez's lawyer instead of his attorney, Emilio Cortés, who is considered to be close to the Popular Party. Parra told Judge Pedras that according to Lere Diez, David Sanchez argued with his own brother Pedro Sanchez over this matter and refused to replace his lawyer Emilio Cortés, whom he fully trusted, with Sáenz de Tejada. The same sources consulted in the case add that the socialist Dirty Tricks group intended to appoint Sáenz de Tejada as the lawyer for the Prime Minister's brother in order to later try to have Judge Biedma removed from the case. Why? Well, because Sáenz de Tejada was removed from the judiciary. He was expelled from judicial service. And now he is a lawyer after being convicted by the Supreme Court for a crime of psychological violence against his ex-wife. Judge Biedma herself would have participated in the investigation of his case, and with that excuse, Sáenz de Tejada himself would try to recuse her once he was already David Sanchez's lawyer for open hostility. It should be noted that Sáenz de Tejada even tried to formally join David Sanchez's case as a private prosecutor. In other words, the Dirty Tricks didn't get their way. They didn't impose Sáenz de Tejada as David Sanchez's lawyer instead of Emilio Cortés, and Sáenz de Tejada tried to join the brother's case as a private prosecutor, and obviously Judge Biedma rejected his application to join the case. Later on, Sáenz de Tejada even went so far as to request the recusal of the magistrate herself and filed complaints against the judge with the Attorney General's office. So this was the harassment that was attempted against Judge Biedma, that was carried out against Judge Biedma after they failed to infiltrate the David Sanchez case to neutralize this case. We recall that David Sanchez was finally formally charged by Judge Biedma and brought to trial. And in fact, he was tried by the Provincial Court of Badajoz for alleged crimes of official misconduct and influence peddling, along with the former socialist president of the Badajoz Provincial Council, Miguel Ángel Gallardo, and 9 other people. But Joaquín Parra's statement before Judge Pedras went much further. In his appearance last week, businessman Joaquín Parra stated before the National Court Magistrate Santiago Pedras that it was Lere Diaz who contacted him and that he never asked her for anything. According to Parra, the socialist fixer told him in one of their conversations referring to Pedro Sánchez that when your wife and your brother are offended by the patriotic police, by the PP mafia, you have to take action. The businessman also stated in his testimony as a witness that Lere Diaz told him that she had access to prosecutors. In addition, during his appearance in court, Parra was also asked about a favor so that the mayor of Dos Hermanas, Seville, would meet with him regarding a matter related to some land that Parra himself owns in this town. He admitted that he spoke with Lere Diaz so that the mayor would meet with him, and that Lere Diaz told him that in that meeting he should specify that he was coming on behalf of Santos Cerdán, who was then the Socialist Organization secretary. On the other hand, during his statement, Parra also pointed out that the PSOE's Dirty Tricks network wanted him to change his own lawyer, who is José Antonio Choclán, Aldama's lawyer, so that he would be defended by a pro-PSOE lawyer, specifically by the so-called Dirty Tricks lawyer, Jacobo Tejada. And that's the information. Although we revealed that the PSOE's Dirty Tricks network maneuvered to try to impose former magistrate Luis José Saenz de Tejada as David Sánchez's lawyer. According to businessman Joaquín Parra's statement before Judge Pedras, Lere Diaz told him that David Sánchez argued with his brother Pedro Sánchez because David Sánchez did not want to change his lawyer. Replace Emilio Cortés with Luis José Saenz de Tejada. Later, Saenz de Tejada tried to appear in David Sánchez's case, in the case of the all-powerful brother, as a private prosecutor. Judge Biedma rejected him and Saenz de Tejada reported Judge Biedma to the Attorney General's office, with the aim of neutralizing the magistrate and disrupting the investigation against Pedro Sánchez's brother. This is the information we have that we are revealing. And of course we will continue to report any updates about this case involving the Socialist Party's Dirty Tricks network, which, as I have told you many times, is Pedro Sánchez's Dirty Tricks network. You already know that in the coming days there will be crucial testimony before the head of the Central Court of Instruction No. 5 of the National Court, Santiago Pedras, precisely related to this Socialist Dirty Tricks network, and any updates you will have them here on Medidas Cautelares. That's all for this edition of Medidas Cautelares. I hope you liked the video and that you leave me your opinions about the PSOE's Dirty Tricks network, about Pedro Sánchez's Dirty Tricks network. Just look how far the Dirty Tricks network was maneuvering to conspire against Judge Biedma because she was the magistrate investigating the favored brother, Pedro Sánchez's brother, David Sánchez. The tentacles of the Dirty Tricks network infiltrated in the civil guard, in the prosecutor's office, even trying to neutralize independent judges. Leave your opinions. What do you think about this latest information? And you already know that you can share the video with whoever you want, family, friends and co-workers, with whoever you feel like. And of course, keep supporting Medidas Cautelares by becoming subscribers and members. You already know that you can become members like the chosen ones for less than €4 a month or like the supreme ones for less than €8 a month. You can also make contributions via Bizum at 627-556-370. We repeat 627-556-370. We are already preparing new features for the next season of Medidas Cautelares. Most importantly, as always, I tell you that this information reaches everyone because information is power. See you soon.